All right. Welcome, everybody, to my walkthrough of all bosses in Dark Souls 1. If you missed my Dark Souls 3 playthrough, that was the first one that I did. My plan is to do these little walkthroughs for all of the Souls games. So if you're interested in watching that, feel free to click the card up in the corner to be taken to that playlist. But if you're wanting to just start off the trilogy right from its roots, that is totally understandable. It makes sense. And so this is the place for you if you're just looking for a good guide to get you to all the bosses, maybe some insight on how to, properly fight them the best that you can. I'm not saying that I'm a god at these games and I'm amazing or anything, but I definitely know where I'm going and know what to do for the most part. And I've played these games so many times, more than I could count. So feel pretty confident in my ability to give you a good guide and give you a good walkthrough and just take you along this journey with me. So if you're here, I appreciate you. Liking and subscribing goes a long way. But we'll go ahead and start off by getting a new file. All right, so this is a character customization screen. Feel free to do whatever you want to at this point. Your starting class, that's probably the most important choice that you're going to make. As you go through these different classes, you'll see that your starting stats will change depending on what you're going with. So for me, I am a big strength fan. I like to get as much strength as possible. So strength, endurance, vitality, those are the kinds of things that I'm going to be looking for. So with that, I'm going to be going with the bandit starting class to help with that because they start at 14 strength and 14 endurance. So very good for the kind of playstyle that I'm going for. Another good choice is knight. It's a very balanced class, gives you a lot of everything. The armor is incredibly heavy though, so that is one detriment, is you're going to have to take a lot of it off if you're wanting to roll through attacks towards the beginning of the game. But yeah, just pick whatever class really fits your play style and just go with that. But like I said, we're gonna go with bandit for this playthrough. Now, gift. You have, as you can see, a bunch of different options here that you can go with, so you can read through those items and decide what sounds the coolest to you. The black firebomb, that can be used to just eliminate the very first boss. This is always what speedrunners go with. They always pick the black firebomb because, man, it just annihilates it. So you can go with that. Usually what I go with, though, on each playthrough is the master key. This gives you access to basically any basic lock. So any keys that don't need, any doors that don't need like a very specific key to them, this is what it's able to open. So I always go with that. It makes things a little bit easier and open at the beginning of the game. And then the rest of this, like I said, you can just kind of go with what you want as far as this customization goes. We're of course going to go with the bobbed hair because, man, it's just peak. I'm just going to see light real quick. Put this all the way over to different. Okay, and then we're going to create similar face. This is something that you don't have to do this by any means, but this is something I like to do, just kind of get some really weird looking faces. Maybe we'll change the features real quick too. Really accentuate what we got going. There we go. Yeah, that's looking strong. I like that. Okay, beautiful. And maybe we'll brighten that hair up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Okay. That is peak. The chosen undead, the one who will slay gods. Alright, so just kind of have fun with this character customization screen, but when you're ready to go, just hit accept. Now, if you watch my Dark Souls 3 walkthrough, you know that I skipped through a lot of the cutscenes. I'm going to be doing the same thing with this game. Definitely encourage you to watch the cutscenes on your own playthrough, but for walkthrough purposes, they don't really add much. This very first cutscene, you'll see that somebody's going to drop down a body into your cell. That has the dungeon cell key that we need to open this door. So from the very get-go, you're equipped with a broken straight sword. So it does very, very little damage, doesn't really do much for you. And then you'll also see that these items, these are developer messages to let you know just kind of how the controls work and everything like that. So if you have never played a Souls game before and you're just kind of needing some of the basics, then those are definitely good messages to read to just figure out what you're doing in the first place. All these hollows that we're coming across, you don't need to kill them. They don't attack you or anything like that, so usually on a normal playthrough I just kind of skip past them. Alright, here we are at our first bonfire. Again, if you're new to Souls games, bonfires are used to rest at, to recharge your health and everything like that, but it also revives any enemies that you've killed. So that's kind of the trade-off there. Alright, we're going to open this door and come face to face with the very first boss of the game. We're like 2 minutes in and we're already facing a boss. This is the Asylum demon. He's going to drop down from the ceiling. Boom. But we're not actually going to fight him right now. Instead, we're going to run over here, past this door. Boom. Because if we try to fight him with the broken straight sword, we're going to have a bad time. Not saying that it's impossible, but it is very tough and not what you're intended to do. It's another bonfire there. Now in this room, this is where we're going to actually get our starting equipment. So you want to be careful. There is a hollow up there that's shooting some arrows at you. So here we have our shield. We'll go into our equipment menu. I'm so used to Dark Souls 3's UI and everything now that like I have to readjust my mind. Alright. Oh, it looks like we're online. I did not even intend that. Okay, and then up here is our starting weapon, the battle axe. So those weapons, that equipment will depend on what your actual starting class is. So whatever you picked, those items will be different. You also see that we are rolling a lot slower now than we were before because we added a bunch of weight. Dark Souls 1 is pretty brutal when it comes to your equip load. So if you are over 50% of your equip load, you are going to be fat rolling, which is just the worst thing ever. You want to avoid that as much as possible. And then I believe it is under, I want to say 25%. That's when you're going to be mid-rolling. So that's kind of what we're going to aim for now. Fast rolling is obviously the most ideal. It gives you the most invincibility frames as you're rolling through attacks. But we don't necessarily need it, so we're going to go for, there we go, there's that medium roll we're looking for. So just took a couple pieces of armor off, and we are all set. He's in an awkward spot. There we go. Alright, so one thing unique to Dark Souls 1 is fog gates. They aren't always like just for a boss. You'll have little ones like these that just separate different parts of, you know, the areas that you go through. So if you see a fog wall, it doesn't immediately mean, uh-oh, coming across a boss. It can, you know, mean a bunch of different things. I feel like the brightness is really low. Just give me one sec. There we go, that's a little better. Okay, so right here you'll see that this wall is somewhat broken. If you come over to this, great, you'll see that same guy, Oscar, the one who dropped down that corpse to us with that key, he's in there. But that door is broken down, we can't like enter it. So the question is, okay, how do we get in there? If you come down to this door, this unlocks a shortcut back to that very first bonfire, just in case you die. It's an easy way to get back up. Now if you go up these stairs, be careful because you can see at the top there, there's a boulder that's going to roll down. So what you want to do is you want to bait this out, so go up a little bit and just drop down and hug this left wall, and you'll avoid it. That breaks the wall into where Oscar is. You can talk to him. We just say yes to him, skip through his dialogue, and he'll give you the Estus Flask. That is the source of your healing. He also gives you the Undead Asylum Floor 2 East Key, which is just up at the top of those stairs. That's where we use it. And then as we leave the room, rip, Oscar, he dies. You can hear that sound. He's gone. You can make that whole thing quicker by killing him if you want to, but I don't know. I'm not cold-hearted enough to do that, so I always just talk to him. All right. Up here, some more hollows and some more developer messages. I'm playing online. I didn't realize that I had online settings on, so these ones are not developer messages. At least some of them aren't. At least I'm pretty sure I'm online, right? Yeah, because there's not normally... Maybe I'm remembering things wrong. Oh, maybe... I could have sworn there were some over here. Because pretty sure these are not dev messages. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so whenever you see messages like this that have like a rating, that means those are like player left messages. These aren't developer ones. So if you're playing offline, you won't see those. These ones that have that image of Oscar on them, those are dev messages teaching you how to play the game. Alright, coming back up here. Like I said, there's a couple of hollows up here for us to take out as we come across this corner. Alright, now in this room over here is going to be a hollow soldier, and he's here to kind of teach you how to parry in this game. Parrying in Dark Souls 1 is fairly easy. Basically, you want to hit left trigger as soon as the weapon were to make contact with you. They make it a lot more complicated in future Souls games, but this one I can get it pretty consistently. If we try to open this door, it won't let us. It says it's locked. That's a key we'll be able to get much later on in the game. Alright, through this fog wall is going back into the room with the Asylum Demon, but this gives us an opportunity to do a plunge attack on him, which does a ton of damage. So just press right bumper as you're going down, or R1, and it will do a plunge attack. And then, obviously with a real weapon, now we're going to be doing actually significant damage. Roll through those attacks. There we go. Asylum Demon down. He's going to drop the key for this door. You'll also see that I switched to going two-handed there. Two-handed, when it comes to some weapons, will give you more damage based off of their scaling. So you can see that 95 physical plus 25 next to it. That plus 25 is an indicator as to bonus damage you'll get if you are two-handing your weapon. So that's one playstyle you can go with if you don't feel comfortable with that. If you're like, nope, I need my shield to protect myself, then you can. It's really easy to just switch back from one-handed to two-handed, but you do lose some damage. All right, on our way up here now. As we approach this little peninsula, we're going to be transported by a crow, giant crow here. I'll let this part of the cutscene play because it's pretty iconic moment.
That one day an undead shall be chosen.
Boom. And he's going to take us to Firelink Shrine, which is the central hub of the game. And we can rest at this bonfire. It tells us that we're able to level up at bonfire, so we're going to take advantage and put some levels into strength right now, just because I want the best damage possible to start out. A couple other things. Kindling. Throughout the game, you'll find these items called humanity. You're able to consume those to increase your number of humanity, which is represented by that 0, 0 that I've got in the top left corner by the health bar and stamina bar. So once you have like an actual number on there, you can use those to first reverse your hollowing. So right now we're a hollow. You can reverse your hollowing to go back into human form. Then once you're in human form, you can spend more humanity to kindle the bonfire that you're sitting at, which essentially just allows you to have a higher maximum of Estus Flask charges throughout your journey. So whenever you rest at that bonfire specifically, it will give you more Estus Flasks that you can use. So that's how that works. There is a limit to how much you can do. For the most part throughout the game, 10 is the max. However, an item that you're able to find later in the game does allow you to kindle further than that. So much to the point where you're able to get 20 Estus Flask charges, depending on how far you've kindled your bonfire. So, pretty cool. But yeah, so that is the very intro of the game. So that's going to be it for this episode. In the next episode, we're going to get into the meat of the game, go into our first area, which is the Undead Burg, just up that cliff. So, if you made it through, you beat the Asylum Demon, and you showed up to Firelink Shrine, congratulations. You are now on a journey that has a lot more in store for you. I absolutely love this game. Although Dark Souls 3 is definitely my favorite of the trilogy, this game is still very near and dear to me as the first Souls game that I ever played. So I really love this game, and I'm excited to do this walkthrough with you all. So that is it for this episode. Please like and subscribe if you can, and we will see you in part 2.